Hello again, and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel. I'm your host, Prince Magnum, and this is another episode of Do-It-Yourself Budget Hot Rodding. Okay, if you've kept up with the channel, you know that we have not been able to do anything as far as car cruises, car meets, car shows, nothing. Haven't been able to do anything. This winter has just been boring as heck. And all through spring and summer last year, we got to go to a lot of places and get involved with a lot of different things. And I've been dying to get back out there and see all of you, and to put Project Spirit on display because I love this car. It's a great car. But beyond going to a car meet for the first time this year. This is a very special episode because of the simple fact that one of my dear friends on YouTube, Burt of Burt TV, was able to join me for his very first car cruise of this year. And I think it's been many years since he's been to a car cruise. Him and I were talking about this, and I would have loved to have been able to play what was actually said, but unfortunately the Spirit Cam, her microphone is only so good. Basically, her microphone was picking up the road noise, the engine noise, and everything like that. So for him, you guys don't get to hear that on my channel. But if you go to Burt's channel, he was able to pick up some of the conversation that we were having on the way up there from his phone camera, but unfortunately the Spirit Cam does not operate that way. It just doesn't work that way. So that's why I have to narrate stuff like this or put music to it or whatever it is I might do that day. So for me, Prince Magnum, this was special because I got to nab up a friend of mine, and we went to a car meet, and got to see a few really good-looking cars. Got to put Project Spirit on display. For his channel, I got to show how I go into detail trying to keep Spirit clean and looking good and everything for every car show. It's like a lot of you really do not realize how hard I really work to keep Spirit up and running and looking as good as she does. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you don't see on camera, but that's okay. That's not super important for all of you to constantly see everything that I do. Pretty much from here, like I said, Burt and I are talking, and let me tell you up front, poor Burt, he does not get out very often, and when he does, he's like a kid in a candy shop. He gets really excited, and it's just a lot of fun to see what he's like away from his home, because everyone knows that we've done crossovers at his place, numerous crossovers. But to be able to do one together out there in Project Spirit, hitting the open road, going to a location for a car meet, this was really a delight for me. There was some drawbacks. By the time we were able to get out there, because I was running behind, I had to go deal with a few things beforehand, and the time code is almost accurate. By this time, it's actually the time code says that it's 5:41. Well, actually, it's 6:41. I still haven't reset that yet, but that's okay. I know what time it is. So by the time we got out there, a lot of the old timers, for the car club, was pretty well done for the day, and it was a little chilly. So they were pretty well, they were ready to go home not too long after we got there. We maybe got to, see their cars for about 10 minutes. and not long enough for me to capture them in video. So that was an unfortunate. Um, on top of that, Burt had been trying to push this all over Facebook that we were going to be out there. Well, um, that being the case, um, a lot of people were already busy doing other things. It was kind of like we talked about it, and then kind of almost about 12 hours before the whole thing, he started pushing it, and it wasn't really enough time to give people a whole lot of time to get out there. On top of that, there's still a lot of people. I mean, I have 149 subscribers, and most of them are from St. Francis County. He has 159 the last I looked, and a lot of his are abroad. And in some cases, the same subscribers that Burt has, as he calls them, are also members of the Maverick Nation. So this is a big drawback. So there wasn't a big turnout to see Project Spirit or to meet local YouTube, the local YouTubers in this area, and I kind of half expected that. It's just one of those things. On top of that, a lot of members of the Maverick Nation can come by my job at any time and see Spirit. A lot of people do come by and see Spirit. So why are they going to make a special trip when they can come over, and that sort of thing. So there wasn't a big turnout. And I have, these are just things that I half expected anyways. But for Burt, it was kind of a letdown. So unfortunately, but it didn't matter to me. I was still hanging with a friend of mine, still having a good time, and and we were at Farmington 2 McDonald's, and we basically got to stuff ourselves like a couple of Thanksgiving turkeys on food that we knew was bad for us, and at the same time we got to get some more content for his channel. So if you're interested in that, please take a look at his video. Go to Burt TV, check it out yourself, because a lot of footage that I don't have, he has, and a lot of footage that I have, he doesn't have. So it worked out. One of the things that Burt and I did talk about is he was absolutely amazed how well Spirit rides. We're talking a 43-year-old car. Spirit will actually be 44 in November. Now, some of you are probably wondering, oh, wait a minute, Prince Magnum, isn't she a 75? You're adding on it. Well, if you look at that one video where I showed her that little door, thing on her door that gives information. Spirit was built in November of 1974 to get ready for the new model year. So she's listed as a 75, but she was built in November of 74. So basically, this November, as I'm making this video, Spirit will be 44 years old. So that's really awesome. You will see kind of briefly where I had to kind of pull off here just shortly, off to kind of the shoulder. Basically, there was an emergency vehicle, and it was the supervisor for the EMS service that we have here in St. Francis County. And unfortunately, there was no real shoulder to get off onto, so I had to kind of push in the clutch and slow her down as best as I could, and just hope he was smart enough to go around, which he was, obviously, because the on-ramp is very wide, but there's no shoulder to really speak of. That's just an unfortunate thing. Maybe MoDOT will get on that. I know they got a million road projects as it is, but just one of them things. The people, again, at Farmington 2 McDonald's were doing a fantastic job, which I'm not surprised. But unfortunately, because I work at Farmington 1 McDonald's, there's kind of a little rivalry and that sort of thing. And we all go back and forth, which is the better of the two. Sorry, guys. I think Farmington 1's better. But, I'm supposed to say that. It was nice to see the guys from Farmington, the guys and gals from Farmington too. I got to watch them work very diligently, very short-handed. Like they didn't have the amount of people that they needed. They were working very short-handed, and they still did an amazing job. Food was great. So pretty much got there. All the old timers left shortly after we got there. Got to talk to someone who wanted to check out the the work being done to Project Spirit. Gave him that information, and it was just a great time all around. Had a great time. Hung out with a good friend. Afterwards, we went and picked up Princess Faye. And for Burt, he'd been dying to meet my beautiful, lovely wife. They just had not met yet. They kind of sort of did one night, but that's, it was kind of like we were going into a Casey's to pick up cigarettes, and Burt just happened to be there, and he was over there buying, with his lady friend, ex-girlfriend Linda. And I got to meet her. She was really nice, but it was just a kind of a brief bump into each other. But really, all in all, this video really was special because this was not only a crossover, but it was also the very first time that Burt was on do-it-yourself budget hot rodding. That was really, really awesome. To be able to have him, he's never been on do-it-yourself budget hot rodding for the Prince Magnum channel, so that was really, really exciting. And remember the EMS vehicle I was just talking about? You can see how I'm trying to get over, and there's no shoulder whatsoever, and there he is, getting on it. I hope he was able to get to the call, and whoever he was getting to the call for was okay. That's all we can do is hope. I don't know anything more other than that. So this was exciting. And, I'm going to tell you all, I haven't had a whole, it's been a whole winter. And for gearheads like me, when we get to a car meet or a car show, we have to back our car in. Okay, I don't know why it's so doggone important, but we have to do it. So we have to back our car in, and I'm a little out of practice, so I kind of parked crooked. But I was still between the lines. Okay, no one pick on me, one of them things. But you'll see as we round the corner, there was one of the guys again had just some good-looking old cars. Oh no, I didn't catch it. Well, that sucks. I hadn't had a chance to really review all the way up to this point. It just made, when I started doing this video, I didn't get a whole lot of time. But basically at this point, I have to back in. And, again, I was a little crooked, but I was still between the lines. So I was happy enough with that. It's just one of those things that I hadn't had, the whole winter I had not had a chance to practice that. And here I was doing something I hadn't done all winter. So I got to do a little practicing backing up into my spot. Like I said, gearheads like us, we have to do that. But anyhow, here in a second, you're going to see it kind of break away, and ta-da, Spirit's beautiful inline 250, Princess Faye's artwork, and all the stuff that we've been doing, still continuing. And that, to me, that's really exciting that we're still able to, that there's still plenty to do. There's still plenty to do. Okay, pretty much this section of the video, which I'm not going to take up a whole lot of time on, we're leaving Princess Faye's job. She works at the Little Caesars over in Farmington, and right there is Farmington 1 McDonald's. So we work pretty close to each other. That always makes things easy. Here in a moment, we're going to hit the highway, and no one was paying attention to the speedometer except for me. And, we were joking about it. At one point, we actually see a Camaro pass by, and I doubt this video is going to carry on that long. I might let it go that long. basically I'm like, ooh, Camaro, and they're like, no, you don't. One of the new ones. It's like, I know I can get, but no, I had to behave myself. That, doggone it, we just got that transmission fixed, so I might want to take it easy, on that. Spirit's transmission is actually out of a '67 Mustang, and that's a 50-year-old transmission, so I might want to take it a little easy on that thing. But anyhow. But I will openly admit, and no one was really paying attention, I wanted to see how much that one upper ball joint made a difference. And at a couple of points, I did let Spirit get up to about 70. And no one was able to tell because that the simple fact that Spirit has, just doing little bitty things like that really added up to just a smoother ride altogether. Um, was I really, looking to gun it? Well, no, but I wanted to see if anybody would notice. And when I would get up there, go for a few moments, I would back off, slow down. Nobody noticed. Nobody noticed, and that was really awesome. That no one could really tell because Spirit's doing so much better with just the little bit of work that we've been able to have done to her. While we're on the subject of her upper ball joints, a couple of things. Number one, there will be a video coming out talking about the change, because the upper ball joints that have been changed on Project Spirit are actually the original ones, and I did manage to save one of them. It's a 43-year-old ball joint. I'm not kidding you. A 43 upper ball joint, and that's actually unheard of on cars like this. But the fact that it was, that still got it, still that's pretty awesome. The other thing is that I did not do this. All I did was just get the parts, and I want to take time out to thank Ellis OK Tires of Farmington, Missouri, for doing this. Doing this for us. Spirit rides. Her steering is just so much tighter. She handles a ton better. I mean, I want to thank them for taking time out and doing the work. The price on it was actually very reasonable. All total, to have the two parts installed, $50, and that is extremely cheap for work. For that type of work. It should have actually costed a lot more, but because they took good care of us, I think again it needs to be said that Ellis OK Tires does do good work with what they have available to them. A lot of people kind of rag on them, but they do good work. I mean, we're talking a couple of good mechanics that work there, and they just do an amazing job. It's just that the place has had at one time had kind of a rough reputation, but the truth of it is that they don't do bad work. It was just a lot of people from years ago that didn't do very good work, and they're stuck with that reputation. But here on the Prince Magnum channel, we have managed. I want to say right now they do good work, and I want to bust that old reputation that they do bad work. Because they are the two guys that work there are very hardworking and great mechanics, which I actually did get to see one of them at Farmington 2 McDonald's, the guy who kind of heads the shop. He was there with his young one. It was really awesome, and asked people in the that work there is to take good care of this guy. He's always looking out after me. So. There you have it. Burt TV and the Prince Magnum channel in their very first public appearance together on do-it-yourself budget hot rodding. Princess Faye got to meet the guy I've been doing crossovers with. That was really, exciting. Got to have Project Spirit out on display again for the first time this year. A lot in one day. It was a great time. I wish you all could have been there. Unfortunately, you weren't, but I know you all were there with me in heart and soul. All right, that brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more stuff like this, please leave a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you're not a member of the Maverick Nation, and maybe think now is the time, well, there's that subscribe button. Hit it. What are you waiting for? You're supposed to hit it now. Anyhow, and as usual, if you're going to leave any hateful stuff, be hateful, whatever, just skip it. It's a good way to get made fun of, or I'm just going to plain delete it. But if I make fun of you, you had it coming. This is technically my second job, and if I was to come into your job busting your chops, you wouldn't like it. Please show me the same respect, okay? You wouldn't like it if I was busting you at work, so please don't bust me at my job. But I do always accept good constructive criticism. And as always, get out there and work on a project. I don't care what it is, just do something with yourself. As I've been saying, said in one of my last videos, idle hands and a creative mind they just do not mix. If you've got a sweetheart, sweep them off their feet. Do something special for them today. They deserve it. And as always, if nobody has told any of you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you, and have a happy 24. Thank you. How many lives do you think I'd say?
The Prince Magnum channel rocks.